here from Natural Balance Therapy. I'm here to talk to you today about those cranky calves. So many of our clients struggle with extreme tightness throughout their calves and lower legs. And so I want to take this time to give you a couple of things that you can do to really help to elongate and open up that area. We found that when people have more flexibility in the calves, that it can really help individuals with foot pain, knee pain, as well as all the way up into the back, pelvis, and hip. So one of the most common things that I hear from my clients when they come in, because I check in with them and then find out how are they stretching their calves at home. And one of the most common ways that I find that people have been instructed to stretch the calves is to drop their foot or both feet off of a step. So I'm going to show you that one really quickly. I'm going to start out by saying this is not one that I will give to my clients, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But typically what you're going to see or be told is to come onto a step and to drop that heel off to stretch that calf. When I did traditional physical therapy, this is something that we would give to people regularly. The reason that I don't like this stretch is because it can be too intense for most people. It's very difficult to control the intensity of the stretch coming off of that step. And when we stretch from a myofascial perspective, remember we are not going to necessarily end range. We are going to where we're feeling a little bit of restriction, where it could be a little bit of pressure, resistance, tightness. We're going to stop there. We're going to let that area free up, open up, and then we're going to move further into it. So by dropping your foot off the step like that, you can't control that. You're all in. So I'm going to show you a modification to that stretch as well as an alternative to it. Now, many of us are really tight in through this calf area, and so some of you may need more of a soft tissue mobilization approach as well as in combination with the stretch. One of my favorite ways to get more of a soft tissue mobilization is to use the foam roller. So if you check back in our Facebook Lives to March 31st, I actually showed people how to work the foam roller in their calves and their soleus. So you can check back to that date on March 31st. But I'm going to show you now a modification to that first one with your foot going off the step. Remember, I'm wanting this to be more gentle approach. So this is something that you can do if you're outside, if you find a curb, if you find the edge of a wall, a tree. So you can do this stretch anywhere that you have access to anything like that. I'm going to use the yoga block. So instead of dropping my foot off, I'm going to bring my foot on and my heel is still in contact with the ground. And right at this point, I should feel very minimal to no stretch. And what I want to do is I want to start to bring my body forward. So now I'm controlling the intensity of that stretch, keeping my heel in contact with the ground. And I'm only moving forward to the point where I just start to feel maybe a little bit of tightness, maybe a little bit of resistance. And I'm just going to wait there. And I'm just going to allow my heel to continue to sink into the ground. When that lessens, that intensity, that means that the tissue is released. So now I can go forward just a little bit more until I hit the next area of restriction. So again, you guys, if you're used to dropping that heel off of a step, this is a much more gentle and controlled version of that. And I find that people tolerate it a lot better. So that's the first stretch that we're going to recommend. The second one is more of a traditional calf and soleus stretch. So our soleus is our deeper calf muscle, and then we have our gastroc, which is the main calf muscle. So many of you have seen this one utilizing the wall. So I'm going to be stretching my right leg, so you're going to bring one foot behind and one foot in front. Both heels are flat on the ground. I like to recommend that people have their toes basically pointing towards the wall, I don't like it when people bring that back toe out. So you want to have those toes facing the wall. Again, that back heel is staying in contact with the ground. As you start to bend this front knee and let your body weight go forward a little bit until you just start to feel a little bit of resistance, tension. Most of you will feel it up in that mid to upper calf region. And again, you're only going forward till you just feel very slight resistance or tension. And at that point, I want you to maintain that position and just really let that lower leg start to sink, start to drop down towards the heel. This will create a gentle elongation. So we're not pushing the foot into the floor, we're just lengthening that heel, lengthening that leg. Once you feel that resistance or tension give a little bit, then again move forward till you feel that next little bit of resistance. Then stop. And we want to repeat the process. Keep that elongation. Anywhere that you're feeling a little bit of tension, resistance, allow your breath to connect into it. This helps that to bring your awareness to it and help to open that up. And again, when it releases, lessens in intensity, you can go forward a little bit more. And with the myofascial approach, we're going to hang out here for minimum of 3, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. So the more gentle that you are, the better that fascial tissue responds to and opens up. If you're getting any discomfort, if it's painful, you're probably too far in, so you want to back off a little bit. Now, in order to get that soleus stretch, that first one we kept our knees straight. In order to get that deeper muscle, you're going to bring your foot forward a little bit, that back foot, and now we're going to bend both of our knees very slowly and gently until we just start to feel a little bit of resistance or tension. Typically, you're going to now feel that down by your Achilles tendon. So we're just going to do the same technique, but now we're bending our knees straight down. Again, heel is staying in contact with the ground. Once you find that resistance, stop. Create a very gentle, just lengthening by letting that heel sink into the ground just a little bit more. Once you feel it give, you can bend those knees a little bit more. Now again, you would hang out there for 3-4 releases, which is typically going to be our 3-4-5 minutes. Again, you guys, most importantly, people tend to really overstretch this area. They tend to push and try to force it, and you will get irritation, you will get inflammation, and it won't feel comfortable. This should feel wonderful. It should feel really lengthening. It should feel comfortable. So these are the 2 stretches that I would encourage you to try for your calf tightness.